Baskin Robbins or whatever, Dunkin' Donuts and all that other stuff. So that is this talk. We all don't know what we're doing.
Right.
You know that when somebody buys a T-shirt or whatever, a hoodie for $25 or whatever, it should be with expectation that I'm supporting the podcast because them brothers is doing something, and that has to be reinvested in the whatever the speakers are, whatever the equipment is, and you can see that grow in an investment in this day and age. I call it selling air. Where what we selling is ourselves. We just do, having a conversation, but it has to be about business, or it won't grow the way that like say. Juice say, yo, is it an analytics page or something? Because I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I know I got to look at my other shit. Like, I got to look at the analytics page and switch them to business things. And you know what I'm saying? Do that all moving forward. And iron sharp as iron. We should be each other crushed like that.
Juice, you got any of art? Like, what the difference in us turning into a business page? Like, I did it, but I'm not sure.
What happens is you basically can start. You can start getting some metrics. You know who's coming in, who's paying attention, how many views you have, when is the best time to post. You'll be able to also do, you can do sponsored ads, meaning that you put maybe $50 down, and over duration of time it'll pop up on certain people's timeline, as a promotion. So you can start promoting what we do. I mean, because really, that's what you want to do. You definitely want to, at the end of the day, you do want to start grossing money. You do want to start getting attention. Because, I mean, I kind of see it like, man, podcasters, now they're touring.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
So we could do that.
Yeah.
Like right. Corey Holcomb, 5150 show. I listen every week, right?
I love Corey Holcomb, too.
Like, this dude ain't even he could sell out places just doing the podcast. He already sold out places doing his comedy. But, like, he could podcast and tour with the podcast. He just ain't even that. Your young people is touring and doing it already.
That's what Joe and them doing. Joe and them doing that heavy.
Yeah, me and my partner's going to the one down here in Austin.
Real quick. Forbes magazine article today or yesterday, one of the 5 things it mentioned talked about Instagram is flirting with the idea, basically, of being able to buy right out of the app. Right? So you don't have to go through a third party or anything like that anymore. It's the same thing, Neef. The elevation of thinking is we giving our time if it gets views the way we expect it to. One day, this day, 6 months, 6 years, it don't even matter. Content is key, right? You have to know what to do to monetize it. We have to all grow in that space. So that's all that stuff is.
And I got showed you some love because what you posted, you did that yourself, right?
Yeah.
I can never post that. Right. So if y'all feel something, I might not catch everything. Like I don't try to give them the whole podcast either. You get what I'm saying? So when I post up, but Juice posted something that was different than what I had up. And he went and recorded it and posted it. All right, y'all ready to get started though?
Yeah, we recording.
Oh, we recording?
Yeah.
Why you always gotta be that guy?
What you want me to say, yo?
Give a fucking wink or something, Terrell.
I said when I... Yo, stop calling my government name, yo. That's the fifth
Mama
time.
named you Terrell. I'm going to call you Terrell.
Introduce the goddamn podcast, yo.
Yo, this is Brothers Talking Shit, episode 36. Before we get into it, let me formally introduce, if you don't already know, it's been me, Iceberg. It's been Cool Mike. Juice is full-time with it now.
Yup.
Amigos. Is right. You're not listen. It's off limits though. Ain't nobody else coming in. It is off. We turned it off. We got the 4 dimensions that we need. We good to go out here.
For sure.
If you don't know, after 36 episodes, let me remind you who I am. I am the Flush Man, also known as the Fat Boy, also known as the man who has no problem calling you broadish. Oh yeah, I'm your Huckleberry.
And I'm Rel, a.k.a. Iceberg Shorty, a.k.a. the king of controversial comments. I said what I said. Don't at me. New one, little man in the right-hand corner. I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? And oh, yeah, Mr. I don't give a fuck. And I be fucking up, but I'm trying to fuck up less. Progression.
That's right. Elevate the conversation, baby. It's Cool Mike, a.k.a. Dr. Mike, your favorite foot doctor, the P. Diddy of podiatry, and in the future, call me Crypto Cool.
With your cool ass.
Hey.
What's up, everybody? It's your homie boy Drew, a.k.a. the Charm God, but also known as Juice.
The
Juice Man.
All right. Now, before we get into it, I want to say first off, I called Mike the other day. I'm still waiting for a call back. And I called Mike about some push shit too. Like I didn't even call him. I called him on some podiatry shit. Like I need some advice. I got heels first.
You should have texted me, baby.
Oh, I got a text. All right.
Real patients can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You got access. You use it, but you got to use it.
I'll text you. I had some foot because I seen your video.
Just text me,
I need
baby.
some foot help. Please look up Dr. Mike.
But besides family, probably less than 10 people are able to do that. Just text me, baby. Juice you too. 11.
For sure.
Now we about to have a lot of fun on this podcast today, but it's something I want to tap into. Now, I don't want to go too far into it because I don't got all the information, but it goes back to us when it comes to our children and making sure I'm tough every day. You get what I'm saying? From the womb. I feel like you got to be tough. You got to hold your kids responsible. You got to teach them some type of responsibility. And I'm going through a situation not with with a family member almost to the fact where as though at 13 facing a felony. You get what I'm saying? And it goes back to just constantly. First of all, I think it's important to when we were kids, it was always do as I say, not as I do. And I don't think we can do that anymore. I think nowadays it's more of a do as the kids see everything. So you have to watch what you do because it influences your kids. I can always say that my mom, whatever she was into in her younger age, having kids, never came to the forefront where I could tell. You know what I'm saying? But it's important to keep those things from your children. And I just, like I said, all it takes is one car ride. All it takes is one situation it's already tough enough being a young black male, young black period in America. But a felony at 13 is something it's hard to rebound from. And I think it's an everyday process. And like around my house, man, I don't let nothing slide. I'm not picking up your jackets, your shoes, anything. I'm holding my kids responsible across the board for every single thing because this world don't give you no second chances. I think there's a little bit of fear that needs to be in your child. I'm not saying your child should be scared to death for you, but your child should be worried about what happens when they do things. They should think about you before they make a mistake or make a choice out in these streets. And this example right here for me is like, it's something like this really been on my mind for the last 24 hours. And, it's sad that like to see how do you rebound from a felony at 13, multiple felonies possibly at 13 years old. How can you go get go to college and get, it's going to be tough, man. And I think it starts before that. It starts before that happens. Before that incident, it's more to it than that incident. It's these years and building up and raising a child to be ready for those situations. How y'all feel about what I'm saying, gentlemen?
I agree, but I want to say, first and foremost, we got to reform the justice system to where a 13-year-old, I don't even see how a 13-year-old is catching felonies. I just think we need to make some adjustment on that end. But as far as what you're saying, as regards to raising a teenager, raising they're still children. I totally agree, man. Especially let's really make it more specific. Black kids, like black kids are gonna have it far more difficult than anybody else. So we have to render them a lot differently. So, I definitely agree with that because as you tell the story, I'm thinking like, damn, like 13 years old, you finna have a felony like at 13, bro. You ain't even started life.
It's not anything official yet, but the way it's looking. But I believe in it being a thing where though you can't wait until a kid gets to their teenage years to try to put certain things into them. It starts at these young ages. Me being a man who's helping raise a 4-year-old boy, I'm already tough on him all the time because you have to think about, it can't be I forgot. It can't be, I wasn't thinking. You have to think about every single move you make because all it takes is for you to get in the car with the wrong person or for you to go, we're going here. Let's go. You should go with us. And you need to think about everything you do because at 13, what choices or what's available to you if you make the wrong mistake at 13 years old? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like certain things are cut off from what you're even allowed to have at such a young age.
Crazy. Yeah, man, it's. I think you're right. You said a couple things. First of all, about I don't even mean anything particular from an agreement standpoint, but one thing you mentioned is about being hard on your kids, or at least not doing for them, right? And Terrell, you understand? I think we had a thing in the thread, in the cousins thread, that talked about. I forget the analogy. Was it snowplow or lawnmower?
Yeah, shout out to cousin Jordan who posted an article about snowplow parenting is what he was referring to.
Can you just, before I go on, Terrell, can you just explain that briefly and what that means, that idea?
So basically, let me pull it. I don't want to misquote.
It paraphrase until you get it. I think it was the idea, Neef and Juice, is doing everything or catering to your kids, making the way easier for them to navigate life, right? And in turn, I believe how that can be detrimental to an adult if everything is done for them. Picking up their clothes versus having them pick up their clothes can mean something or make a difference in a parenting style and how they become or what kind of adults they turn into. So I don't know. I think that was a paraphrasing.
Right. So snowplow parent is defined as a person who constantly forces obstacles out of their children's paths. They have their eye on the future success of their child, and anyone or anything that stands in their way has to be removed.
Yeah. So to your point, Neef, like the way I parent my 10-year-old son, for example, and Michael about to be 13 in a couple weeks. Like I gave him up till 10. You know, at 9 years old, he was doing that pouty little boy thing. At 10 years old, like it's no more pouty little boy thing. And the reality of the world, Tamir Rice was shot with a toy gun at the park at 12 years old, right? And then the calling was, suspect 20-year-old black male. The world may literally think you are 20 at 12, and it ain't going to treat you no better than I'm treating you in this house. So I don't know, right or wrong is the right word, but like you absolutely, in my eyes, doing them a detriment if you make it easier for them to navigate your home, which ultimately becomes the world, because the world way colder than pick up your clothes, take out the trash, do the responsibility, do the little things, do the basic things you're supposed to do. So I think you're 100% right that things that manifest come in, that when they're younger will happen. When they're 13 for a boy is almost too late.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
If
right.
you got them at 6, 7, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's almost too late because of the way the world treats them out here, especially in the United States.
Right. So I was having a passionate intellectual conversation with my 13-year-old son, soon to be 14. And I was just telling him, and I may have said it last week because I shared with him a lot. I said, your cousin, one of your best friends, y'all 2 months apart, lost his father last year, right? You know what I'm saying? So to not have that presence of a man on a day-to-day basis is scary for me, right? And I said, I have to impose everything I have on you. You have to get this, right? But I also don't want to take his adolescence from him and his childhood simultaneously. But his best friend, who lives here with us, my nephew, shout out to my nephew Minuet, is 5'10" and cut up, right? He's bigger than me, and he looks damn near grown. The only thing different between me and him is I have a beard and he does not, right? But at the fact still remains, to Cool's point, that the world will look at you like a grown-ass man. And, the hoodie becomes an issue, right? The way you walk, the braids in your hair. You know what I'm saying? My wife will not allow Tyree to get braids because of the imagery that it puts out there. Regardless of where you live, regardless of who your family is and how you're being raised, because you're still unapologetically hip-hop because that's the world you live in. Your parents are, you are, it's all good, right? But still, you know what I'm saying? You have to understand who you are to this world, right? And even when we lived in Kentucky and a little white boy called him a nigga, and he just ignored it, right? He's like, he's stupid, and he walked away from it. I was like, oh, okay, well, he took that better than I thought he was going to take it, because he still had a level of innocence for him. But now you 5'5", 150 pounds, much bigger than I was when I was 13 years old at 4'11", 110. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was a little guy, yo. But still, like it's tough, man. So finding that balance is the hardest thing I'm trying to do, right? But you're right. Those 5 years are gonna come quick. And I told him, I said, Tyree, you start 9th grade in September. Those 4 years are gonna go, and then it's gonna be now what, right? So by me forcing him to go into the early college program versus just going to traditional high school, I'm trying to explain to him the value of that, right? But what he sees it as is, damn, I won't be around all my friends, which is a 13-year-old thought. you know what I'm saying? But as parents and fathers and black fathers, it's our responsibility to show them ahead of time so they won't make the same mistakes that we did, right?
Yep.
So,
and that's definitely like my frame of mind is definitely where it's though is to looking at my family personally and my mother's side of the family is just to get to that higher level. Like, okay, we've developed I've got to a certain place, and the next generation should get higher. The next generation, that's what
elevation.
My goal is. You get what I'm saying? Like, every single thing, man. I can remember being a kid. I didn't have my dad around. I remember being a kid and knowing, like, I'm not going. I'm not going. We all going here. Nah, I'm cool. I'm a chill. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to think about all it takes is one time. Like, we got to be hard on these kids because this world is a hard place. So, there's some people that feel like, oh, my mom was hard and I would never be that kind of parent. And honestly, you're setting that child up for failure because what they're going to face out here in this world, first of all, you're not going to be able to protect them. So when they get out here and be grown, it's not going to be come run home to mommy and daddy. You're going to have to stand on your own too and fight through it. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I got to be tough. And I damn near raised a daughter. And from the womb, yo, shake it off. You a cannon. We cannons. We won't do all that crying. You know what I'm saying? So me raising a boy at 4 years old, I'm tough on him all day. Because end of the day, this world is not going to take no pity on him at all. And I just refuse, because honestly, I feel like whatever his future, and I might be wrong for feeling this way, but whatever his future is, as long as I'm around, I played a part in it. So if he's not successful, I feel like I didn't succeed.
Yeah.
Across the board with any of the kids. If they're not successful, I got to look at myself like, what did I do wrong? And it might not be me, but that's how I'm going to feel. So I got to get them every single thing, every single ounce. I'm telling you, man, I don't let nothing slide. Yo, listen, y'all got to wipe these tables off. Y'all got to start doing this. Y'all got to start doing that. Like, I just want responsible adults when they grow up. You get what I'm saying? In this world, like I said, and what's crazy was to go a little different. I was in the bed the other night, man, and I was talking to my lady, and I was just like, when I see a cop, right? If I'm walking and I see cops, I almost feel like I got to look at them, but I don't look too hard. You get what I'm saying? So if I see cops, right? If cops see me, I'm going to look. If I don't look, I feel like they're going to feel like I'm doing something. And this is me at 37 years old, damn near. A reality check I had in the middle of the night, like, if I see cops, I'll look, but I don't look long. Like, if I don't look, then they're going to think you do something. If you look too long, they're going to think you're doing something. And that's the mind frame I have, and I just realized it the other day.
I think that's key. You were talking about, I'm going to back up and go back to what Rel said for a minute as far as like the early college prep situation. Man, I think that's brilliant. I think that what I want to teach my boys and a lot of young men need to understand is, you need to be conditioned to be prepared to live life. You need to be conditioned to make money, get the bag, as the young people say, get the bag. Because that is the true freedom that you're going to have. When you have the money to do what you want, you just got money in your bank to just say, you know what, I got some fucking money. That's what I'm trying to program my boys, to be thinking, even at 10 and 9, So I really think we have to start to have conversations with our young men, not just about, living life, being around white folk, but how will you have this real freedom in the realm we're in, that we exist in right now? Financial freedom, that's key. Like, it's really all about money. People say it ain't all about money, but it really is.
Hold on, Juice, let me ask you, Juice.
Go ahead.
You think, I'm not sure if that's still the way you move. You still, I feel what you're saying as far as the money. I totally get it, and you want that, but that still don't.
No, it doesn't. I get what you like. It doesn't change my skin color. It doesn't change how people feel about me. But a Will Smith life is still light years away from my life right here. You know, like, I know he's gonna experience racism, but he has a certain paradigm to where he can create this lane for himself and his family where that shit just don't matter, because you still got a bunch of poor white people too. So it's like, you can like Dave Chappelle said it best in his stand up. Like, Trump isn't for those poor white people that voted for him. Trump is more for a guy like Dave, because Dave has the money. You know, so on top of teaching my children how rigorous this life could be, I think the silver lining and the bright side is you also can kind of shift your paradigm to do this and create a different world for yourself that, I didn't necessarily have.
Man, I love y'all. Let me just throw it out here, man. I love y'all. I love it. Juice, you're right. Neef, you're right. But it's conversations like these that is all Juice is referencing, right? It's the conversation we had before the record button. That's it. That's what we're talking about. So just today, in a couple different things. No, it's not all about money in the sense that money will create or allow happiness, right? But with Juice's point, that's to your point, Neef. You're right. It got to be something else. But to Juice's point, it's a financial freedom. And that don't have to be $1 billion. That could be $1 million to somebody, right? The financial freedom that allows for the creativity is what Juice is referencing. Right. There is no room, gentlemen. There's no room for us as men to not have these discussions with our children and each other any longer. The world allows, on some level, in spite of the racism, for us to say, hey, bop, 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 it is about merch. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, we got to do this, bop, 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 to get that to the next level. That is the difference between then and now. You understand? Now it's a whole destiny shift, and it allows for the creativity about our children. If I wrote you or stroked a certain check, if I were able to, I would, Neef, for your restaurant. You see, that's the difference. And even thinking about what we, and then you would be a restaurateur, whatever the owner name is, or something like that.
You got it, cool. You there? You there?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You there?
You know what I'm saying? Because, and then what would that do for you and your family? And what would that do for it? It's different. You would live in a different tax code and different understanding. You would benefit differently from the system of the United States. Your kids would be allowed to flourish creatively, and that would mean something way differently, whether college is in their future, maybe it's in their future to start their own school. You understand what I'm saying? Like we don't even know what the freedom financially of not having to go and do certain things, but we should absolutely be having conversations about this for the rest of our lives. There's no room to not have these conversations.
I definitely agree, but what I was pinpointing is the fact that, let's say you got that bag, right? If you in a fancy car, when the cops see you as a black man, what do they think of you? They don't think of you as a businessman in that fancy car. You know what I'm saying? So my thought, when I say of course, the bag is definitely the motivation, but we still need to install those things where you understand that. Oh, put your hands on a dashboard when you get pulled over by the cops. You get what I'm saying? And those kind of things.
Real quick. Yes. Okay, so 100%.
Agreed.
Two things. 100% right. Have you ever, like, to the room, these are gentlemen or men that have lived in other parts of the world, right? Yeah. We talk about not even living in the United States if you don't want to. You have a certain level of financial freedom. You talking about being in my homeboy Bert, shout out to Bert, went to Africa. He said the lady was over here and picked up and moved to some part of Africa, got a whole compound over there for the cost of maybe an apartment per month over here. I'm saying I never even thought of no shit like that. Now we gonna be talking about thinking of shit like that. They want us to come home. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They want to make it easier for descendants of slaves to go back. Now, the day in the regular thinking me, just 5 years ago thinking me, we'd be like, what the, I don't want to move to States. But the next level, you understand it is that's what your kids might say. I want to live in so and so and so and so. I want to live here.
Right.
You understand? And yes, even if you choose to live here, it doesn't insulate you from being black. Nobody's saying that, right? But and so that's the whole part of that. I think we're cooler that way. That you can understand how this world is and move, and almost in spite of, you be prepared for those situations. You ain't popping off or whatever the case may be. You understand how smart it is to even have your hands at 10 and 2 when the police pull you over, to roll the window down and have the engine off. If you're trying to get, you know what I'm saying? These things might, that's
actually, you brought up a good point, Neve. So yeah, like me, that was more of an additive to what you were saying, but I definitely do agree. I'm gonna go back. I do think we have to have a conversation with young black men, as I had and my dad had, and he probably had it more, about how to interact with that beast when you see him. And I'm just keeping it what it is, And the reason why I call him a beast is because that's really how he's coming, with all his testosterone, with all his aggression. When that cop comes to you, how do you respond? How do you talk? How do you interact with him? You have to know these things. And I think a lot of brothers, you got to understand, I'm going to do this to the camera. You can't be doing this shit. Hey, look, know what I'm saying? Look at what the fuck he doing.
Right.
All that shit right there gonna get your ass whooped. So like, you're not less of a man by knowing how to. It's just like if I was in the hood, right? If I'm in Compton, I'm somewhere, I might be in the Crip neighborhood or a Blood neighborhood. It's a code. It's a way I'm supposed to be in that environment. Or I could end up dead. So we have to know, like, dealing with cops. Like when I deal, especially we in the South, real, like we down south. Like it's really a way I got to deal with a cop.
You got to navigate, it's
still
the South.
It ain't no games down here, dog. Like, you could come up missing for sure. So, yes, sir, no, sir. Here's my license. I made sure I put veteran on my license, too, so that could kind of give me a few points, So, but I do agree with you, Neef. Like, what I was talking about was changing your paradigm, but on your way to changing your paradigm, you still do have to understand who you are and what you are.
Right, because they don't look at you by that.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
and there's the intimidation by, and it's a lot of shows now that's putting that in there as far as black shoes, because you can have all the money in the world. If your kids don't understand, that's not right, and you got a mentality that's not, you got to understand no matter how much money you have, you're still a black man. You get what I'm saying? No matter how much money you got to fly, you got Gucci on, whatever, boom, you fly. They thinking you a drug dealer more than you out here successful with your own business.
Unless you that lady who moved to a different country and part of the world on the continent of Africa, I forget which nation it was, and I don't want to be wrong, where Bert say everybody black.
Right.
And it ain't from the president of the place to the vice and the politicians and the janitors and the CEO of the companies and that's mind blowing to me. That's all I'm saying. Elevator thought. You ain't no black man because everybody black over there.
Right. You just a man. Yeah. Iceberg, you good over there?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm not cutting nobody off. I'm solid. So I'm listening to the conversation, man. And ever since last week, I've been ready to have this conversation. Right.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on.
And thanks for getting shit all serious out the gate, man. I was coming in here to get the jokes off. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I had one locked and loaded for you.
I had something on my chest that I had to get off, man, that was on my mind for the last 24 hours, man. Like, it's been real, like I said, I don't really want to go into it because I don't got all the facts lined up to really go into it. But it's just, it goes into, what we always talk about. And that's just a perfect example of, 13 years old, man. You don't know, like, every decision, man. And you don't, how many options do you have after that? You get what I'm saying? But let's have fun. Let's get to it. What's his name? First of all, I heard Tatiana, right? That shit is the worst, the most trash shit I ever.
That's where we going? We going straight to this?
We going right there. This is the most trash shit I ever heard in my life. This is my first time.
Bogus, yo.
Shit is trash. But let's go into it because we posted, in the group in our
pre-production text.
Right. Because y'all be hyped. I'll be able to tell y'all calm down, say that shit for the podcast. But let's go to it. Where does this picture come from? Is a picture of, anybody know? You can break it down because I'm not as informed as some of you guys.
I want to go. All right,
go ahead, bro.
Right. So what popped up online, because the internet is undefeated, for all you stupid motherfuckers who still haven't realized, who have still not realized that the internet is undefeated, a suspect picture of young Mr. Face, and I don't mean Scar, and I don't mean, you know what I'm saying, young Mr. Blueface popped up with him with a tank top on with Nicki Minaj plastered all over it. Some other chick who wasn't looking her greatest, and some other guy who looked suspect next to him. So I was mad confused, right? So automatically when I see stuff like this, because of young Mr. 6ix9ine, you know what I'm saying, I start going through a mental timeline. And as I see, and I'm like, all right, well, here this is. Young Mr. Blueface is 22 years old. He turned 22 January 2nd, right?
Right.
How young could he have possibly been in this picture, right? And for the sake of the argument, let's say 15 or 16.
16.
Right? I've been around, right? I've lived in California. I'm from Baltimore City, Florida. I live in Texas right now. I've seen and I've come to do some things. I have friends that live in Compton. I know real Bloods. I know real Crips. So when I went to Baltimore and I seen cats blooding and cripping, I was like, this is weird, because the city ain't big enough for y'all to be doing this, right? You can't be a Blood. Your cousin can't be a Crip, and we ain't going to Grandma Rose's house on Sunday to have dinner and everything is all good. It just don't work like that, right, in the real world. Right. So I was like, most people who come from that environment are already broken by the time they 15 or 16 years old.
What? You late.
Right? You way late to the party because you came up that way, right? You learn how to walk out of diapers. I don't know where he's from because I don't listen. You learn how to walk out of diapers, right? He got signed to Baby via WAC 100. You know what I'm saying? So I assume he has some type of Cali affiliation, but they wasn't really fucking with him for whatever reason. But dog, you don't look as hard as you portray to be on TV in this picture. And Nicki Minaj ain't been hot for that long, right? So even if you was 12 or 13, at that point, you still way late. So I'm going to go ahead and say it like I've been saying it. Plant, 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 plant. Fuck out of here, yo. Are you serious?
Me and you, A-Rail, me and you, you know, we said it then.
Yeah.
What I noticed about Tekashi 6ix9ine. So before, I still don't know to do music like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know 6ix9ine music like that. I know him because he dominated the social media influencer level, right?
Yeah.
So the blogosphere, really the new news, right? Especially the black blogs and which are really hip hop blogs and things of that nature. But so what I noticed about dude early, you go back to like say I forget what his Twitter or his Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
He was stage diving off of something. And it looked hype. Like his first post was like stage diving, and it had some foreign location, right? So that doesn't happen. You're not from those streets, and then all of a sudden you got a performance level effort, and then he went on this run of having these, you know, spins and things of that nature. But what the main thing I noticed, and just trying to learn this guy, because if he's of an influence, then my kids are going to be influenced by nature, because that's how it goes. So I got to be hip on this. That was my reasoning for going after the understanding. And I see all this blood imagery. I mean, a sea of bloods. So Bloods in New York is already funny for a lot of different reasons to me when you talk about when they weren't there. But beyond that, it seemed to be putting on a bit. Like, what this shit like a movie? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. This dude got rainbow hair and he out there, they tagging and getting it. And these dudes is, you know, in the video deep. So all of that raised my suspicion about this dude has been planted here to create a certain image or whatever. Fast forward, you see how that turned out, right? The same feeling and sense was over this guy, Blueface. Man, that I don't care what you say about beats. We understand we black folks and we like beats and we like rhythm. We built that way by nature. So yes, we get caught up in the beats, and I'm not going to apologize for that. That's just how things go.
Right.
But it is almost caustic to the ears of somebody that knows and understands, is a lover of music and hip hop, even on a surface level. Don't tell me about millennials and all of that stuff about him rapping off beat being hot or whatever the inference is. That is bullshit. It sounds so crazy. You're like,
right.
You can't wait to get to the hook. You can't wait to get to the hook of Bust Down Tatiana, and that's crazy on a whole different level because of how that dude rap. You will listen to somebody else rap over that beat instead of him. That's how bad it is. So the bar, one thing, the bar of what is hot has been floored. Don't give me Migos. Don't give me Young Thug. The bar has been floored with this dude that raps off beat on purpose, and they try to make it hot. Right? Then we talk about the put some respect on my name aspect of this, right? Baby was up there talking about put some respect on my name because Charlamagne dug in his ass paws throughout the years behind bad contracts behind this, right? So that was the whole thing there. You actively in court with Wayne. You know, we understand that whole you signed to do this. All of that aside, you got this dude Blueface that signed through Whack 100, that signed the Baby on some fucking Cash Money West shit that really don't exist. And that dude go up to the Breakfast Club and they ask him early about his contract. They did this with Lil Yachty. There's a history there. The people that control, even the puppeteer should have had that man better prepared. And he go up there and say, I don't know what I didn't read it. I didn't read it. You understand? Oh, we now know why. So I go to your video and you got Crip imagery throwing it up. You look more Crippy than Nipsey. You look more Crippy than Snoop. You look more Crip than real Crips. You look more Crip than the movie Colors. I promise you. I promise you. And I thought 6ix9ine early. Like this dude, how does dude get catapulted into this situation? It's become harder and harder to me in the age of this is a celly, this is a tool. Like my man Childish Gambino say, to pull this wool over people's eyes, man. And then you get this photo, because you can't fucking hide, especially no more. You was in this, you birthed into a world where you showing yourself at 16. It's going to be harder and harder to do. And I just call bullshit on this. Total bullshit.
The thing that bothers me, I'm going to back it all the way up to Bobby Shmurda.
Yeah.
I know, I have an industry friend, and we talked about it, that basically he was also not necessarily a plant, but there was a plan for him. Like, it wasn't by chance that dance took off the way it took off. Like, these things are not, the algorithms just aren't in these programs to make people blow up like that. It will take time to organically grow your base. It could take years. But this guy blows up. But let me point you somewhere else. He blows up, but a part of him blowing up, a bunch of niggas go to jail. Like a bunch of people go to jail, and there's been this investigation, but somehow this guy blew up. Let's go to Tekashi. Okay, you've blown up, but due to like RICO law and gang injunction and all this other shit, like you're getting people locked up. So what I start to think to myself is, what the fuck is really going on? Because it's like y'all blowing up and y'all doing y'all thing, but a bunch of niggas go to jail every time. It's like that bothers me. So like you can't be like, you gotta be kind of like thinking and you have your head on the swivel to be like, yo, what's up with that shit?
Yeah. Hey. It's definitely crazy, man. Like I said, I heard Tatiana for the first time, and like you said, cool. Man, like, who said it was okay for him to, like, who was in the studio and let that recording be what's we gonna put out there? Like, there's nothing. I mean, the way he was on that beat was terrible.
Because they telling him, hey, dog, you don't even have to rhyme with the beat. They literally telling him now you don't have to have talent. You don't even have to catch the goddamn two. Just go.
But it even shows that, like you said, with Tekashi, you said 3 years ago, a picture of him where he looked something totally different, and then you got Blueface, who, listen, I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but you'll never catch me with a Nicki Minaj shirt on. You get what I'm saying? So that right there is suspect across the board. You get what I'm saying? So to me, it's dumb. And then it just so happened to be one Crip and one Blood.
Real, can I throw one more thing in there?
Yeah.
Go ahead, cool.
Juice, you said something, how fishy it is, man. And look, we talked about elevating the podcast and just not even holding back. I meant to put it on the thread, fellas, but I'm gonna throw it out there cold to y'all. A sister named Jamila Davis did the Breakfast Club. Okay, it's a must view, and I'm just that's how important I think it is. This sister, apparently, long story short, she went to jail with the feds, but in the process, she had flipped some houses in this high-end neighborhood somewhere in Jersey or whatever, right? And when she got prosecuted for like bank fraud, which everybody you got to hear. Long story short, the state of New Jersey seized the properties, right? So she had properties. Maybe she paid 10. I forget the numbers, but say it was 10 million. She put in another X amount of million and then doubled what they were. So she talked about how Chris Christie, the former governor of New Jersey, as a prosecutor or something, on the case, basically they seized all of these multi-million-dollar properties from her, and in that process of her doing the most time in federal prison, resold them to their friends.
Oh, wow.
Juice, when you say, how do you build these people up and then a bunch of people go to jail? It's a whole lot to that, brother. Now, I don't know. I won't pretend to know what it is, but she said nobody is investigating this. Nobody investigates how this happens. You understand? So check that out, y'all. And I don't even know. I think she just beginning. To pivot that back. One thing she said in that interview, she said I'm prepared to die for this cause, right? So you know how they can play. But she said, I got the cameras ready. This is a celly. This is a tool. Part of what we're going to teach our kids is I'm going to have dash cams in my kids' cars. That's going to be part of the new 10 and 12 for me. That's how I'm thinking, baby. Right? I almost think, like, how can we be people that have the camera thing on us? Like,
right, the body cam.
So I don't want to get.
I need a body cam.
At that point. Yeah, I need a body cam.
No doubt.
White supremacy definitely has to go away, and that's what that is, because even with this, not to go back to the college scam thing again, and I even understand, cool, after you explain what that really is probably about as far as fraud in the government, but I mean, it's like, how can this country, this infrastructure, this place talk about morality and having this moral compass and do some shit like that? Like, you seize property or seize drugs. Like, where does this drug go? Or where does this money go? It's almost like they keep this shit in play. They don't stop it so they can really take advantage of it. Because you got to understand, on the black market, right? You know how much money is on the black market? It's billions, probably trillions. Man, motherfuckers selling body parts, organ harvesting. This shit is for real.
All of that stuff is the fabric of our economy, Juice. Like, so, you agree, there is no stopping war on drugs. There's no curing cancer or HIV. People will be out of jobs.
Ain't no money in the cure.
Money's in the medicine.
Right.
Shout out to Chris Rock.
Definitely. But and that's crazy because they just seized in the port of Philadelphia, like, I want to say $15 million worth of cocaine.
So?
Where does that cocaine go?
It get locked up, but if they season 15 million, 150 has gotten in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't stopping nothing. Ooh, we got a boat. What about all the other boats you didn't get?
Right.
Like, dog, you ain't stopping nothing.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy on you seize. You allow, when they do investigations and you allow so much stuff to happen. They, if they was investigating the Bobby Shmurda and them boys, they got hip hop police there. You allow so much stuff to happen to a dump, right? Mm-hmm. You get on the bus and you get on the bus and you charge Wayne with the gun out of all the people on the bus, and you 2 years in the jump.
Well, somebody volunteered I think his manager volunteered.
I'm just never mind.
They wouldn't let him.
They wasn't coming for the manager. It was coming for Wayne.
We talking about the money. You understand? We talking about the supremacy part of it. They ain't give a shit about none of that. You know, the common sense part is like you do the same thing with me. People get paid behind these things. So you talking about making money in literally every aspect of the system. Every aspect. Trade private prisons on the stock market. The surplus that these entities get from seizing government seizure and the cash seizures from drug money, right? They then get buy tactical equipment and fucking stuff that y'all, you know what I mean, people use and stuff like that, military equipment in these police departments, right? Who getting paid? A lot of people getting paid off of that shit, yo. That is wow. Yeah. You understand? Getting paid hand over fist at every level of it.
Yeah. Kevlar helmets are produced in jail.
Yeah.
For the military. By prisoners.
Fortune 500 companies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Use prison labor.
Yo, I watched this show on Showtime called Billions, man. And I swear, some of the stuff that they be talking about, and I'm surprised you don't watch it, bro, because there's a lot of that stock and hedge fund type things involved in that. And I listen to and I be just intrigued by some of the stuff they come up with, and like I be like, God damn, like is this shit really what's going on? When you watch something like that and be like, yo, this is probably what's going on, and we don't even know these things are going on.
Fellas, I'm big brother in that call. Listen to the sister. I bet you won't be able to stop listening for the hour. It's less than an hour.
Okay,
but it's like.
Well, put it on the joint. So
I say put her name in the thread so I can find it, yo.
It's like reading a book for, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Let me say this is why I really get on my black militancy shit with white folk with this shit, because they make it seem like black people are doing so much harm. But I'm going to point out Houston specifically about something. You know what the number one problem is in this city?
What's that, bro?
Houston is the number one hub for human trafficking.
Wow.
It is the number one hub for human trafficking. Okay, you got a fucking place that say foot massage. Who the fuck just go get a foot massage? Who's never even heard of that? But here's the thing about this. To me, and this is not to put everything on the Asian community or Chinese community, but bootlegging, knockoff, and of course human trafficking, I definitely believe they're a part of that. They don't get the flack that we get. If you look at, I think you put up about the drug bust too. I didn't get to really look into that. But they do that. They are harvesting marijuana in places that they shouldn't be doing it, and they're not catching flack. And I think the reason why that is because as a community, they have garnered so much money, they can pay their way out of these things. Like, they are a commodity to this country. I mean, they do. They create everything we fucking have, so they get off. They get a different process in the justice system because of that. And so black people, what I would like to see us do, to kind of go back to the bag again, we gotta do that. Like, we're gonna have to find a way, even if we're partnering with countries in Africa where we get some import, export, you know, that situation, we've gotta garner enough money to where that crack shit ain't a big deal. You know why? Because as a community, you guys give us so much money on the other end. Like, it's pretty much like, if you can't make us no money, nigga, you gotta pay the money. So you're going to jail for this crack. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that's how I look.
So 1,000% right, Juice. And it's funny because as you mature, how certain stuff might matter to you at one point or stage in your life, and then it doesn't. Well, at this stage of my life, you know, having that understanding that things like lobbyists, which are paid lawyers to go that lobby on your behalf, they spend money, go down a place called K Street in D.C. and say, hey, we're championing for our cause. So if black people collectively paid a lobbying group of lobbyists for, right, they'll go down with a interest list, right? So big tobacco pays lawyers or lobbyists to argue on their behalf. Big oil argue on their behalf.
Right.
LGBT community argue on their behalf. You could see the steel community when Donald Trump got into office raised their amount of their lobbyists. They bought more lawyers to go lobby on their behalf. They
Cold
gained,
too. Cold too.
They gained money. They made money the last 2 years behind that lobby, and that's really the game. We just don't understand the game yet and the collective nature of our money. You keep hearing this $1 trillion spending power. Yeah, take a percentage of that. Go build a black lot, whatever it is. We could gain traction in the system, the way the system works. The hard part is when you literally rip a page out of the history book, right? You get this situation where we are disjointed people and all of those things. So it's not impossible because we've seen it in the bus boycott where the concerted effort of everybody saying, I'm holding on to my money and I ain't riding your damn bus worked, right? On some level, we've gotten away tremendously with that. And I just yearn for a day that, Juice, we can get it collectively and kind of do that. I think there's a level of responsible us, right, that are waking up to this understanding, and understand and having these different elevations. I think, we all become some kind of target and threat on that level, but, it is what it is because status quo ain't working.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Definitely.
Agreed, man.
Yeah.
All right, real quick.
For sure.
Real quick. Don't talk to me while you in your drawers, dog. I'm not having no conversations with no grown-ass men in their underwear. I don't give a fuck who you are. Please put your trousers on before you want to have a discussion with me. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. All right. Let's get to Daniel Caesar. Mr. Daniel Caesar. Mr. R&B. All I'm going to say is, just stick to your albums, bro. If you out here messing with some shit, you ain't got no business messing with. Y'all aware of what happened with Daniel?
I don't know what the fuck's going on with Daniel Caesar. I just know that Dave Chappelle called him gay the other day. That's what I know.
Well, you ain't see the drink with the
Tee it up,
Jess? Huh?
Tee it up.
What's the girl name? Just something.
Just hilarious.
No, not just hilarious. Not that's a
Just Jules.
Yes, Jules. Yes, Jules.
Right, and him defending her and saying, why do black people hate white people? First of all, I don't think black people hate white people. Daniel Caesar, you should work on the next album. Make sure the next album up to par. Her got you popping for real. You a young cat. You treading in water you don't got no business treading in. Just relax.
I don't know him, bro. Like, whatever.
The nigga's from Canada.
Oh, him from Canada? We only acknowledge Drake and Cardinal Official.
Yeah.
That's the only two people from.
So do y'all know what happened? Okay.
Go ahead, Juice.
Cool. So do you know what happened? Well, so Terrell, you only know about the Dave Chappelle joint.
Running back, Juice.
Yeah, I'm aware of the Dave Chappelle joint, and I know Just Jules was on Murder Mook shit, and I only heard what Joe Budden had to say because I'm a huge fan of the Joe Budden podcast.
Run it down, Juice.
Shout out to Joe, man, love him. So basically, yeah, they're doing some. It's John Mayer, Dave Chappelle. They're doing some kind of like live thing. Daniel Caesar's there. Long story short, he made a joke. He just said he was gay or something, but not in the way.
Oh shit! Like, a comedian made a joke. Damn.
Yeah.
And he looked at him and said, "No, for real."
Okay, well, whatever. I mean, it was funny.
Yeah.
But he was offended. They had he was checking okay, you really are offended, and then he apologized. He did apologize for it, but then so that was a thing. Then after that, of course, this comes out where he's Daniel Caesar's making his case about white. We shouldn't be too hard on white people. This, that, and the third. So he's been in the news for. It's funny, he was super sensitive about being called gay, but he wants us to be less sensitive about racism. So that's kind of what it seems like it is.
A little oxymoronic.
Yeah. My take on it is shut the fuck up.
Right.
Shut the fuck up. Learn. I think the Bible says study to show thyself approved. So you need to know, don't say shit stop saying shit. I think a lot of people just be saying shit to appease, your white audience. You don't have to say anything, but you need to understand what you're Canadian. Get into some black communities, see what their real issue might be. I'm not saying hate white people because I don't hate white people. I just don't, man. I have friends of all walks of life, but at the same time, I don't cut no corners.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Daniel Caesar, work on your album. Like, you ain't been that guy. I never heard, what's crazy to me is I've never heard you say anything. That's the first thing you say? Come on, my G.
I gotta, is he gay?
He looked.
Oh, well, okay,
me looking at him and Dave saying that, I can feel Dave, I guess.
But I mean, if he was gay, if he was gay, I don't see like why that would bother him if he really was gay, if he found it offensive. I mean, I don't know, but hey, you know, there's y'all ever know like the black dude that hangs with like nothing but white people? They're always like, yeah, they just different. That's him. That's what I think. He's just like that guy that like he hangs out with like nothing but white people.
So you shouldn't even speak on it then. I mean, like you said, shut the fuck up. That's a thing because
you haven't had anything to say. You've been
spoke out of turn. Like I don't even know what you and the whole what he was. I think it stemmed from the Yes Jules and how she be carrying it with the culture and all that. Man, I don't give nobody no pass to be wilding out and disrespectful and all of that kind of stuff. And that's how you getting it or eat. You got to be respectful of a situation. So if you don't know, to your point again, Jules, like, don't say nothing. You better off not saying nothing.
And he said so much for you, because he said, oh, why is everybody so hard on her? The thing that she said has made people be hard on her. Yeah. So for you to jump out, I don't know if she popping you the next new thing, you get it popping, you done hit. You know what I mean? I just found out that she was the one Pusha was talking about on had that like that Brown I had that long time ago. He was talking about her.
Was he? Oh, yeah. That's what.
Yeah, so that's when Joe was snapping. Joe was like, "Oh, that's why you couldn't go to no Heat games." I mean, she be saying too many people names out here, right? And Push was like that Brown I had that long time ago, butt naked at the Domino. Pharrell know.
Is that who? And then Pharrell, like, I know. He was talking about Yes Jules.
What did she say to get her? What did she say? Why was he coming to her defense? I don't know.
I mean, she's been in the midst of a lot of things, like, throughout the years, I guess. I've never really heard her name, but I've heard she had, like, a lot of stuff she posts and says about having a fat ass, I guess it's a white woman and black women jealous or some type of
Oh, that's what she said.
Yeah. Something like that. Like
they stay in the mix. I guess Daniel got a piece of that and you feel like you want to defend her.
Is Daniel gay? We don't know. Look, this emoji.
Hey, let's talk about this. Y'all want to go there?
Hold on.
Let's go, Juice.
Have a blonde haircut and it be nappy. Like, you gotta at least have like.
Hey, cause Cisco had that shit kind of. His shit was permed and nice and neat. And
his shit peasy as shit blind. Like he looked like Wesley Snipes on Demolition Man. He just spawned a Wesley Snipes on Demolition Man. I don't know what the fuck going on. That nigga went from the Predator. He went from like the Predator to the motherfucking Wesley Snipes on Demolition Man. I don't know what the fuck going on.
Hey, I'm getting sick of I can't say shit about the gay shit, but you can say anything about the black shit. I hate that. It's like, don't say nothing about a motherfucker being gay. Don't even joke about a motherfucker being gay. But it's like the straight black man is just under so much attack. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. It's like, as a straight black man, you can't say any fucking thing, and it's always your fault.
And we can't be sensitive. They say all the stuff they say about us. We can't be like, oh, it's not right for them. It's plenty of things said about black men in general that's just like, and it's not like we jump in our sensitive bag like, oh, we're ready to ban you for saying what you say about black men. Like the gay and lesbian, community, the bag they jump in, you can't say nothing, and it's like you're banned from something. We ready to get you out of here, but as black men, we supposed to. Why don't we? As black men, are we not supposed to have any feelings? Why do I feel like that? As black men, we're not supposed to have any feelings. We're not supposed to be sensitive to anything. Nothing's supposed to bother us. We're supposed to be Superman. That's how it feels as black men. You're supposed to be Superman. You can't cry. You can't be upset. If you do, you're being dramatic. Or, you know what I mean? Like, why is it, as black men, are we not supposed to have any feelings? It's not supposed to affect us.
Change narrative. I think all you could do is start in your home. You know what I'm saying? We know. I would imagine. I don't know. When I had everybody raise their hand when we talk about women in infidelity situations, like that stuff is real. We all go through stuff where something bothers us, as men. It bothers us as boys, right? And so while there is a need to exhibit a certain strength, kind of just normal, just in walking and living in this world, it's unrealistic to suggest. To me, I grew up. It's unrealistic to suggest that I'm not going to tell my son I love you or it's okay to cry, if something bothers you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right? And that's unrealistic to me. That's how you show me somebody that was, in that situation and didn't hear an expression of love. I don't understand that.
But it's like we're expected to just be these rocks who just and it's a double. It's almost like you can't win because it's like you're expected to be hard, but then it's like, oh, you're not. When you're hard, it's like, oh, you show no emotion. But then when you show emotion, it's like, no, you're not supposed to. Like, it's a can't win situation almost when it comes to being a black man. It's like, yo, we have feelings. I want to hear I look good. You know what I'm saying? If I'm looking good, I want to hear that shit. If you're looking good, you got a fresh haircut, you mean looking good out here. It's not, as black men, it's just like, and I think we're trained to, when it comes to our women and our families, to give that out and show everybody love. But it's like, for us, we're not supposed to have, we're supposed to be these emotionless. Like I said, I'm so bothered by the fact that the narrative of black men not being good, that bothers me, black men not being good fathers, and the thought of, every black man ain't shit. And that shit bothers me. Because I know a bunch of black men who aren't like that.
Yeah. Who says that? What voice are you saying?
I would say let's say about May, right after Mother's Day, you gonna have them women that come out the closet like,
oh yeah,
I'm a dad too. I'm a dad too.
Are we talking about black women?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, they don't count.
I mean, I think our perspective is not just a black woman thing; it's around the world. As American black men,
we're not. I don't think so.
We're not supposed to be having.
I don't think so.
We can call a spade a spade. Like, we talking about black women that talk about I'm a man too, right? We can be bothered by it.
No, I'm a dad too. I'm a father too.
I'm a dad too. We can be
you had them that come out around.
Yeah. It's around, okay. I'm saying it's okay to be bothered by it. It might not be popular.
Right. Go ahead, G. It's time for us to start having this conversation though, like uplifting each other. Like this us four right here, like we're showing that that's not the case. And that other brothers can start speaking up and saying that too, and don't have to have that fucking, motherfucker in the house or that ain't in the house nagging you, saying that what you are and what you aren't. The funny thing about a woman, to me, black women specifically, is how they know how to do your role and what it takes to be a man, but can't quite understand what it takes to do their shit. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know, man, but I feel you.
For me, it's a funny thing because they just want to have, it's like a ghetto colloquialism now that, what I'm saying, they start, with the tax time memes and then this thing, and then they getting their summer bodies right, and then right after that is cuffing season, and I gotta take care of little boo. It's like a vicious cycle. I can tell you the shit that they're gonna post on social media a month before it happened because that's all that motherfuckers do. Like, you can't.
Around September, it's the watch out, he trying to move in with you because he ain't got nowhere to stay.
Yeah.
There's women out here that don't got nowhere to stay.
Yeah.
Listen, do I got to take y'all back to the bum-ass broads segment of the podcast? There's some bum-ass broads out here looking for a nigga to take care of their ass.
Yo, I'm trying to take myself out that whole conversation. Miss me with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I filed my taxes on fucking April 15th. Like every other goddamn rich white person in America. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck am I in a rush to get y'all some money?
Even with the I love you thing, people, it's as black men, I'm gonna tell my motherfucking niggas I love them. I love you, dog. You know what I mean? It's like we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to be no.
That's what I'm saying. We changed.
I got no problem saying that shit.
We changed the narrative, man. And I remember I had this story where I had a partner, homeboy or whatever. We had known each other for years. And it was just like a casual conversation. All right, man, I grew up with my father telling me he loved me all the time. You know what I mean? Shout out to Data Mike. I tell my son I love you all the time. So I'm like, all right, boy, love you, boy. And the phone was silent. Like, it was like that. All right, boy, I'm me. Just like us, right? Yo, all right, boy, love you, boy. the phone was silent. Right? So it's not funny, but like it's funny. And then he was like, all right, and that was it. So a couple weeks maybe had gone by. I felt a little like, damn, you know what I mean? But I ain't think much of it because you got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks had gone by. He called me back, and he basically had told me, now if you see him in this setting of a family and like his parents, you look at like a success story, a union, everlasting. They did successful children on the level of at least college educated and professional. Everybody professional, they got grandkids and all that. You would see it. So he said, basically, I know it's people, you know what I mean? Basically, I grew up and my father never said I love you to me. And I was like, it took my breath. Because I'm like, you know what I mean? All I ever know it. So I understand that though my father was around a lot more, but by the same token, I just would have assumed that there was a verbal acknowledgement of the love that at least it looked like pictorially. You know what I'm saying? It looked like visually or at least outside looking in. So he didn't even know how to accept him from another man, right? Now, this is one of those situations where y'all know how people hold your secrets or y'all been through stuff. Even if y'all ain't this tight today, y'all know got some cats that like, man, you know what I mean? Woo, was in that situation we ain't never telling, right?
Yeah.
So it's like one of them. So like, I love you, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But he had never heard a man or didn't know how to accept a verbal expression of love from just another male. And I was baffled by that.
Let me tell a story. First, when we first started the podcast, I had one of our number one guys who've been rocking from the beginning, Andre Bogus. I hope you're still listening.
What up, Dre?
In a while, huh?
I know I'm saying, what up, Dre?
Yeah, right. Definitely been rocking for a long time. And he hit me up like, yo, man, I love the fact that y'all tell each other y'all love each other after the podcast. You know what I'm saying? And I can remember one of my friends, God rest in peace, Brum. One of the last conversations I had with him, he was like, yo, man, I love y'all, man. And I'm like, yo, Brum.
I do.
Rel, D. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, D, one of the toughest guys I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, a gun toter for real. You know what I'm saying? He had the thing on him. Right. Yo, I love y'all. I'm like, yo, you soft as shit with that, dog. I got it. Then my man died. You get what I'm saying? It's like, man, listen, I'm not holding that in. You know what I'm saying? It's love. It's people who I have love for. I'm one of them people who put I put it into everything's earned. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Everything's earned. I say Rel's my brother because I have a brother that's not my brother. You know what I'm saying? We have the same father, but he's not my brother. You get what I'm saying? So everything is earned with me. So for me, I love my folks. Like you can't play with that. You know what I mean? We can be going any day, and it's important to let the people you know that you love, let them know that you love them.
And ain't nothing wrong with that, yo.
It hurt me, man.
Yeah, I come from a loving family, man. My family gonna greet you with hugs. Like, out the gate. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't like getting hugged, don't fucking come around us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my family is the wrong people to be around.
Hold up real quick.
Yeah.
One time, man, I don't know if I told this story in this podcast before. One time, me and Rel was supposed to meet in Baltimore. I was on leave in Philly. Rel was in Virginia. I was supposed to meet him in Baltimore. His car broke down. He couldn't make it to Baltimore. Shout out Weez. Weez came and got me from the train station. Took me to Rel Mom house. Shout out Mom. Real Mom made them that taco salad that I wanted.
The taco dip.
Yo, listen. I was at the crib like Real was there. Like real shit. Like I was just posted up. I spent the day probably or so in Baltimore, and I think Weez came and picked me back up and took me back to the train station. But I'm talking about love. Real Mom is one of the first people who loves when I post on my Facebook shit. When I used to post my pictures of my daughter, she always comment. Love from Baltimore. It's always been one of them throughout the years, man.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So two things. Remember when coming from that same family? Remember when we talked about I was like, thanks for letting me on the podcast. And he's like, what you talking about? And I was like, man, I'm giving you flowers while we are alive to say thank you. I really feel a level of gratitude. You know, it wasn't that serious, but it was that serious. Right. So I think that comes from family. And the other thing is, What I said earlier, like even though the strength from a I love y'all standpoint comes from because I know Terrell. You understand? And if there's a certain reverence from Terrell to y'all, for me, from that same family, there's an automatic extension of the love component. Because if he didn't rock with you on level, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
That's
really
crazy. It's the same way with me and him, like with Trell and my guys. You know what I'm saying? It's a love that my cats know how much I love him. That makes them love him. You get what I'm saying? And it's vice versa. But going back to the you thanking me for you being on the podcast, on everything I love, when it comes to Juice and when it comes to Mike, you would not be on the podcast if you didn't bring what you bring. It wasn't no, you know what, we should put Mike on just because it sounds good. We put Mike on because Mike brings something that adds to the podcast. When we had a conversation about Juice, it wasn't, oh, Juice the homie, Juice our dog for all these years. Let's bring Juice on because he's the homie. No, we put Juice on because Juice adds value to what we're doing. So it's not for no other reason. It's not because I like you.
Respect. Yeah.
Like a lot of motherfuckers, they not on here.
Right.
So that's what it comes to. So you thanking me, I thank you guys for what you guys bring to us.
And I'm just a brother talking shit.
Right. I can't talk to him for 2 hours. I can't talk to him for 2 hours. Right. How much does he talk this podcast? You see what the fuck I go through? If I didn't have y'all, we'd have been done 45 minutes ago.
I feel you. Yo, people that hear this going to laugh, but that's real.
Right. That's real shit. So you thanking me, I thank you because like, yo, it's not, we ain't doing you no favors.
So that's just elevating the discussion. That's changing the narrative though. That's iron sharpens iron. That's understanding that we can extend gratitude to each other because that's the necessary thing. I hate to even go back, but when you talk about things and you get super deep, talking about law of attraction, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around and you talk to. Like all of that stuff is true. Right. I think when it comes to specifically talking about getting to the bag, I want to just make that point that rappers do such a good job because of the repetitive nature of that same message. No matter how the moral part of it is, let me go get it. Let me get it. I can get it. People have gotten it. Like there's a stream to that, even the bubble on their own. So just having these conversations. Thank you. I love you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing. We ain't gonna let you not talk about, self. Everybody see you moving. I'm gonna give you your flowers while you're here. Cause you would show up to my funeral. You understand what I'm saying? So why not show up to each other while we alive? Heaven on earth.
You know what? It go back to even with the I love you thing. It's like if you say I love you or you soft. I can remember that scene on Get Rich or Die Trying. Yeah. And it was like, oh, I love you, Marcus. He was like, if you say you love you, that means you weak. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, that's when old head finally told him that, like, I love you, Marcus. He was like, sharing love is showing weakness. It's something I know I'm a little off with it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm comfortable in myself, whereas though I can tell. Yeah. And I had somebody come to me like, yo, it's weird. Like, y'all tell each other y'all love each other. Like, no, like, yo, I love man.
It's really not weird. Like,
like
you're not going to make me feel weird about somebody I would give my last to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if I had $100 and you needed it, I'm going to give you the $100 and I'm going to figure it the fuck out. I don't have no problem with telling somebody I'm willing to do that for. I love them. It's genuine.
Listen, I done called this motherfucker and needed some bread and he made a call. I swear I got his mom bread. Like, his mom gave me that bread for real. Like, I was like, yo, I need this.
It is what it is.
I ain't got it, but let me call somebody. I know he called Mom Dukes. Mom probably sent that. Uncle Luke sent that. Like,
straight up, what I tell you about that damn Vegas trip, right? You know what I'm saying? Straight, real conversation. I'm like, yo, why you wasn't there? I ain't have it. You ain't fucking ass.
I'm not going ass.
I'm just saying.
When it's real, I know for a fact I can call you. But I'm not going to call you just to call you on some goofy shit.
That's not goofy to me. That's not goofy to me.
No. I know your heart thorough enough, whereas though I know that you would even give it to me for the goofy shit. But I'm not going to use that because I know you would. You get what I'm saying?
I feel that.
I think motherfuckers got to get past it's like you're not soft or gay if you tell your homie, I love you. It's like we reserve love for just like passion and romance. Yeah. And so it's really just understanding that love is larger than that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it really is. So when people say that's weird, it shouldn't make you feel weird to love your dad, grandpa, your cousins, your homies. It's not the same. So really, it's just understanding, man.
Who didn't love you, man? Let's call it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who didn't love you for you to even say that? And that's not
so
you.
You're right. That person is the person who's uncomfortable. That person is the person who's uncomfortable and has issues. The person who has a problem with what they're seeing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. And you guarantee you ain't grow up in no family where they was like, I love you. If you say, oh, that's weird. Right? It's weird because you ain't hear it. And it was weird for my homie to hear it. He still ain't said it, by the way.
Right. But no, like when my daughter was in her mom's stomach, and listen, my daughter's mom pregnancy was hell, to the point where though it made me not even want to go through a pregnancy again. But one thing I did and I stressed was, no matter how me and you are feeling about each other, I need to kiss my child and tell her I love her. So I don't care if it was morning time. It was morning time before I go to bed. I don't care how you feeling. I don't care where we at. Let me kiss my daughter. And when my daughter came out the womb, but it goes back a little further. Let me go back. My baby sister, who's 5 years younger than me, when my mom was pregnant with my baby sister, I used to kiss my mom's stomach every night, tell the baby good night. And my sister, even though she got a lot of things going on in her life right now, and bro, you was around. Juice was around a little bit too. My little sister would run through a fucking wall for me. I'll call my little sister. Matter of fact, to the point where it's when my little sister had my nephew. Let's keep it a bean. Hold up. I'm going to keep it all the way a bean. The story I was telling about the 13-year-old is about my nephew.
Fuck.
Who,
Sharif?
right, my nephew Sharif.
Oh,
who
man.
she named Sharif after Hanif. Who she last named Castle because I'm a castle. You get what I'm saying? When my daughter had my nephew, I was out to sea. I came back. We hit port. I checked, and it was to the point where I think we might have been in port 24 hours. Then we went back out. I checked my messages when I hit the port or whatever, hit home or whatever, and she called me. She said, "Neef, I had your nephew, and I was a fucking cannon." You feel what I'm saying? That's what she told me. So that little boy who I seen in the crib who's 13 years old. And we don't know what he's facing, but it's looking like a couple felonies. You get what I'm saying? Right now he locked up right now, and he not gonna get out till Tuesday. He and Judy at 13 years old, that baby. You get what I'm saying? So let me go back. My sister loved me to death. So when my daughter mom got pregnant, I was just to the point where though, yo, I don't care what we going through. I want to kiss my baby good night. I want to kiss my baby good morning. My daughter's one of the most affectionate. My daughter come up to me, and what's crazy about her is she can just read my body language. I can say all the right shit. My body gonna let you know what the mood is. So she just know with me, Daddy, I love you. And all day, every day, like it was to the point where though I could be frying chicken, grease popping. Bree, you gotta get out of here. But I never want her when she come to me and tell me she love me, or she come to me and she tell me, Daddy, I want to hug and I want to kiss. I don't ever want to deprive her of that. You get what I'm saying? So that was just my mentality. Like I don't know how I got here. Maybe I've been drinking a little bit, but
we here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's science behind what you're talking about too, Neef. Studies suggesting about individuals that babies can understand the native language of the things that they hear and all of that. Studies about classical music, putting it on the babies and IQ and all of that stuff. So it's real science to what you were doing and vibe and energy. So our voice reverberates, right? Your energy, your kiss, right? So even the nonverbal through the stomach, come on, man, right? Manifest in the physical now in those relationships that you're talking about with your sister and your daughter. Come on.
Real shit. I love this podcast, yo.
Heavy.
Best podcast in the fucking game. Get y'all fucking listens up.
No, we really be on it, man. This is good shit, dog. Better than barbershop.
Andrea Kelly is going to be on Growing Up Hip Hop. That shit look messy. First of all, I got a little. I done heard some things that it hasn't come out yet. Now my girls put me on some. It's a lady online somewhere with a she be putting out these videos and she's insinuating that R. Kelly's wife knows a lot more than she proclaimed on that Growing Up, on that Surviving R. Kelly shit, and she was a lot more involved. So I
believe that.
I believe that. That's not.
There's gonna be some things to come out.
That's not a
I
shocker.
think her going on there was strictly them trying to get their numbers up.
Of course.
Growing up hip hop, putting her on there is definitely for people to go watch it. What do you think? What do y'all think about her being on there?
Shout out to fucking Dame Dash for capitalizing on that. That's what I think about it. Next subject.
I'm in a weird space with people that are victims who come up. I'm not saying, okay, let me say this differently. It's okay to write you a tell-all book and get your bread. I think you deserve it, but it's just something weird about this bitch, because it's like, you hurt, you couldn't eat, you ain't know how to get away from this nigga. Now all of a sudden, like, you was singing a song on one of your lives and shit, you still love his music. Now you're gonna be on this show. It's just something about that shit, like, I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, it is what it is, but I feel like all this shit's a shit show. It's a circus. So, I mean, definitely Dame. I'm always want to see Dame come up because I fuck with Dame. But I'm weird. I'm good on that. That's what I'm basically saying. Like, I'm not like, oh, Andrea Kelly, awesome.
It's not gonna make me.
Yeah,
but I get the motivation to it.
Yeah, but of course she was. I mean, listen, dog. She was around. Women are naturally nosy. They know what's up. I think she was very much so complicit. I think there were very much times where she could have gone out and alerted someone, and she didn't. But she had benefit at the time. You eating good. You can't nobody make me look. People, it was too many people around for this shit to have gone on as long as it did. So motherfuckers was coming up, dog. For sure.
But see, I go back to when I first seen that was his wife. Looking at her, no offense, and I'm not a guy who puts especially at 37 years old going on that much. I put more into your personality than looks, even though looks is important. But seeing her and knowing that he married her, why her, stuck out to me. You get what I'm saying? Because there's nothing special about how she looks. You got a bunch of. So what purpose does she serve to him for him to feel like I'm going to marry her?
She looks like a tranny, kind of, just to be honest.
But this ain't her first reality show, right?
Oh, is it? Oh, word?
No, she was on Real Hollywood Exes.
But she turning up information on there?
None of them knew that R. Kelly was married before. So, it was based around Will Smith's ex-wife, Cherie, and Cherie married Terrell Fletcher, who was, what's his name, backup? What's the boy name? Running back.
For who?
Chargers. LT, yeah, LT.
That name sounds familiar too.
Yeah, so he was LaDainian's backup running back. He left the NFL, started ministry. I used to go to the church when I lived in San Diego. So Terrell Fletcher married Cherie, who was Will Smith's ex-wife. So we knew that the show was coming, but it had Jose Canseco ex-wife, Prince ex-wife, Eddie Murphy ex-wife on there, and then she was on there, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, we didn't know R. Kelly was married." Right. So that was like the butt of the jokes for like the first 8 episodes.
Hey, Cherie, Will Smith, old lady, ex-old lady, she's a nice one.
She good people. I know he
didn't hit
she's
that
really good times. People.
Yeah.
Yo,
that's Trey Mama.
Real quick, right? When was the last time you got it in with your sneaks on? It's been a long time since I got some with my sneaks on. I've been barefoot a lot of times in my older age.
Taking your socks off and shit.
You pull your pants down because you ain't know what the situation was. Like Wayne said it, but somebody else said it before Wayne though. So about I hit it with my sneaks on, never know what you on. You remember? It's been a long time since I just got something with just.
Nigga, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
When you with kids, man, you got to, that's rarely happening.
Right.
You always got stuff to do. You got to get that side action going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yo, hurry up. I got shit to do. I got shit to do.
2 p.m. It's 2:43 real quick.
Yeah.
Got my sneaks on. Let me just pull my pants down to my ankles. Get it popping one time.
I done did it with my socks on a lot.
Oh, listen, don't the socks be sliding everywhere though? They be can't even get it like you want to get it. Yo, you ever hit the drink when you be doing a split with the socks?
like you gotta put your sneaks on to get some traction.
Don't be on no warm floors with no socks, dog. That shit is the fucking worst.
That shit get a little different as you get older, man. You trying to get off. The positions locked in. My thighs be hurt. Like, God damn, my thighs.
Don't catch no Charlie horse. You ever fought through that Charlie horse?
Oh yeah.
No, I quit. Hey, time out. Time out.
I ain't stopping. Goddamn it.
I didn't time out.
Bust his nut. I don't listen. This Charlie horse like the way. You ever caught that double Charlie horse?
The double
That's
Charlie.
But look, Mike looking like, God damn, I just had a double Charlie horse last night. Mike's so cool, he ain't gonna say nothing. You know Mike cool, as they gonna say nothing.
No.
All right, Jordan Woods. How y'all feel about the fact that Jordan Woods is getting flooded with a lot of lucrative deals after she's playing, she went on the red table and she's playing a victim. So it seems like she's taking advantage of this opportunity as far as
what
Tristan
are we talking about? This was by design. She is the new person. You think she's not gonna be on the new season? Are you kidding me?
I don't think so. You think she's gonna be on?
Fucking right, she's gonna be on there. It's financially beneficial for everybody involved, including the Kardashians.
Did she have sex with him?
It still hasn't been
Definitely bogus then.
Did we see the picture of her kissing him?
It's a picture?
Exactly. No, it didn't happen. There's pictures of every goddamn thing. They just found a goddamn video of Michael Jackson buying one of the little boys he was fucking ring. The video came out.
Listen, hold on. Now that you open that box, because I wasn't gonna really fuck with it. I'm a strong believer in the fact that if you lied, if you said that something wasn't true, and then you trying to double back after that man's dead and say that it is true now, is something wrong with that. But a lot of the things that you were saying seemed crazy. The craziest thing that stuck out to me, real shit, was the fact that Michael Jackson like his nipples licked. Like, what the fuck is that about? Why do you like your nipples licked? Like, that's not hot. Don't have my nipples all wet. That shit's gonna fuck up the situation. Them was like, yeah, Mike like me to lick his nipples. I'm like, what the fuck?
Ain't nothing wrong with getting your nipples licked by your wife or your spouse.
Don't lick my nipples. My nipples is all limit.
So
my nipples is a pineapple situation.
I'm saying,
pineapples.
I'm just saying, mind your business though.
That just threw me off though. She like, who was like, yeah, Mike like me to lick his nipples. Like, Mike.
I'm gonna say this about that bullshit. I definitely think Michael was doing inappropriate shit. Cause as a grown man, I just don't want to be around kids. I got my own kids, and hell, it's like after a while, I was like, all right now, goddamn.
I'm trying to get rid of them, right?
Yeah. So I definitely think he was doing weird shit, but their accounts of what happened just seemed a little odd. It's really like, not to get too explicit for the audience, but here we go. I mean, one of the kids was saying he was 7 and gave Mike some head. And I just feel like if you did that at 7 years old, that should really just have you fucked up. Like, there's no way that gets to this 2019 and you just now telling that story. Like, dog, that's a very, very traumatizing situation. So a lot of the shit they were saying he was doing was just kind of like, I don't know about that shit. It just
now, as far as the R. Kelly thing, I look at it a little differently. I have a problem because, like I said, what happened was I messed around. Me and my lady was laying in bed one afternoon, and the shit kind of came on. And because it wasn't something I was looking into watching, but once I started watching it, like it was apparent. It was one of the women, and she was like, he had us staying out in the outhouse, and she was like, he had such a nice choice of wines and champagnes, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so your drunk ass you was getting drunk. You want, like, and then it was whereas though one of the lady was the same lady was like, oh, Mike said we was all going to the Grand Canyon, but we went and my son stayed back with Mike. Like, no, it's a lot of things to me. Like, my child's not sleeping. I don't give a fuck.
Who you is? Yeah.
Why are you sleeping with? My son asked, can he sleep with Michael Jackson in his room? No. We got a room over here that's cool for you. You'll see Mike in the morning. Like, fuck that. Mike not going nowhere.
What are you talking about?
That shit was like, as much as I'm not saying whether Mike is guilty, I'm not going into that. But his parents, there's something really wrong with y'all, and they were really on this type time where though they were taking advantage of what was presented to them. Like, you can't tell me Mike sent them all these places, and your son just staying back. No, Mike, y'all either come or Mike, you don't gotta come. Like, my son coming though. Like, fuck all that.
God know what he doing when he give niggas like that power. Cause if I was Mike, nigga, you know how reckless I'll be talking to bitches with that glove on, nigga. I'm like, hey, bitch, come here. Yeah, all y'all bitches, come here.
But look.
He said with that glove on.
But look. So you know we got to go there, right? Mike was talking reckless, calling the head of Sony a devil on camera, YouTube it. That's reckless, right? You talking about owning the half of Sony and buying them and pulling the wool over Sony eyes. That's reckless talk. You understand? Mm-hmm. So when you control half of the Sony catalog, they talking about this man control country music.
Don't he control the Beatles? He had the Beatles.
He controlled
the Beatles catalog.
The Beatles catalog. But you know he controlled certain stuff about Beyonce's and them music at some point. It's deep. Right? So when you die, what happens to that control? It goes to the estate, right? Do you know Sony was able to buy back recently the music catalog from the estate of Michael Jackson? Right? So now who's getting paid?
That's
nobody.
They got their shit back.
Nobody. This man's intellectual property. You understand? Do you know they had an insurance policy on him when he was doing a tour? For that, you die, you get that money back, right? Like, when you talking about deep, you know what I'm saying? So no black artist gets out unscathed. I'm not suggesting. I don't even know. I didn't even watch it, right? Guilt or innocence. That's not what I'm talking about. But even beyond that, we got two things. The dead man can't defend himself. That's one. That's separate than that. Like, just his death, and never mind his legacy. What's even the reason for all that? You see what I'm saying? Now, even on the flip end, you try to bury him, and then the sales and all of that go up. But still, who get paid from that? Shit wild.
But this the whole twist. At the end of the day, it seems like, guess what? Black man, guess what? You only have a certain... We're going to let you get right here. If you try to go right here, guess what? We're going to get you the fuck out of here. All that you thinking you going to outsmart us shit, end of the day, you're not smarter than us. We're going to double back and get you.
They let you run the checkup, but they never give you leverage. You tell you.
Oh,
you know if you think you're gonna get one up on us, we gonna win at the end of the day.
Well, he did say overnight that when he started breaking records, he did say it was like overnight they started fucking with him. He said that shit.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
This nigga hung a baby out the window. Let's not act like Mike totally innocent. First of all, how do you name a little boy Blanket? I don't even get that shit. Bothers me from the rip. You name a little boy Blanket, he gotta fight this whole fucking life.
I think his nickname is Blanket. Yo, I don't think that's his real government.
I don't give a fuck. His nickname Blanket. He gotta rumble everybody.
Sony got Prince music too, right?
Huh?
Sony ended up getting Prince music as well.
I don't know if it's Sony specifically, but Jay-Z told us all that he sat down with Prince eye to eye. Right? He told me wishes before he died. He called out the lawyer name, right? Who then told Jay-Z, I'm not going to sell you the catalog, Prince's catalog. We're going to do this with it. And all they did was walk people through his house as a museum and sold tickets. Right now, he said this guy wrote slave on his face. He changed his name to the symbol. You think he wanted his masters with his masters?
Get him. See, that's why he on the podcast, yo. Why he thanking me? What the fuck is he thanking me for? He just dropped that shit. I'm gonna do that.
He tell it, man.
Hov said it.
He tell it. Who control the music? Who control the Aretha Franklin music? They say she died without a will. Who controlled Prince's situation?
How the fuck does Aretha Franklin die without a will?
They say Prince died without a will. They say, man, this man wouldn't be caught dead on stage in the wrong way. You mean to tell me he ain't had no clad iron will? Now let's run it forward. Really, the only people that got a shot damn near is the Carters of getting out or insulating themselves so much that when they die, like, you know what I'm saying, control of their situation seems like it can stay in a family. My seed, marry his seed, marry his seed. That's how we keep Carter money all in the family. Trying to tell you, right? They got a shot. But it's still like you never know. Because even when you don't do nothing and ain't no case, they could put a case on you. You know what I'm saying? They could put a situation on you. They could put a gay on you. They could put a gay situation. They could put you know, you just never know. It's heavy, man. I think it's heavy. Heavy.
Now that we speaking on Jay-Z, what do y'all think about the blueprint now, a preserved treasure of the Library of Congress?
Agreed.
Yeah.
His whole goddamn catalog should be there.
Right.
You wasn't fucking listening from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Is Shakespeare and them things in there?
Yep.
Oh, well it definitely should be in there.
He breaking down
like Mark Twain and them books in there.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely should be in there. I'm surprised it actually ain't like earlier than this.
Right.
That blueprint, man. Let's go back to when that dropped, man. And it was on 9/11, so we probably didn't listen to it that first day.
I went and bought it from being dismissed out of school early.
Did you?
too. And I bought Fabulous CD too. But yeah.
What, Ghetto Fam came out that same day?
It was one of them, but I just bought them together. You got it.
I know. I was in A school. So I didn't get to the. I probably didn't get that for a couple of days. 9/11 happened and they shut the whole base down. Down San Antonio. But I really, when I think about it, man, and that it's certain albums, and I'm one of them people who I kind of relate songs and certain things to certain times in my life, and that blueprint is definitely one of them things that's just like I feel like it changed. It changed a lot. It solidified his place in history. I mean, so many things came out of it.
Reasonable Doubt solidified his place in history.
What's up, bro?
Reasonable Doubt solidified his place in history. Put some respect on Hove's name when you talk about five albums and you on some other shit.
I'm if more than anybody else, I think I'm a firm believer in his first early shit. Like, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the later shit. What solidifies me with Hove is the early shit for me.
Okay.
Like, when you talk about Volume 1 and Volume 2, like, I told you Volume 2 my favorite album. Volume 1, Reasonable Doubt, those drinks right there is more to me than... You give me them first four albums over...
You said Volume 2 is your favorite?
That's my favorite, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, all right. Good.
I mean, we talking about Reservoir Dogs, Coming to Age, Jay-Z and Kid Capri, Money Cash Hole.
It's like that, y'all.
Imaginary Players, huh?
No, you're on the wrong album, cuz.
Imaginary
Players was
on Volume 1, yo.
Well, it was something else after that. That was like Imaginary Players. My bad. It was y'all niggas gonna ride tonight.
Ride or die.
Right. That was like a drink where he's coming at
Mace.
Coming at Mace on that shit.
Yeah.
Ride or die or ride or die or he was coming at Mace on that shit too.
Yeah. Check out your own video. You always be number 2.
Right. Niggas talking real breezy on them R&B records. I'm playing a million times, nigga. Check the credits. S. Carter, Ghost Rider, and for the right price, I can make your shit tighter. I roast niggas like you, smoke niggas like you. Come on, stop playing, dog.
I think we knew it was coming. Like for me, again, I was a fan of it all too. I remember being introduced to Reasonable Doubt. I bought Volume 2, you know what I'm saying? I remember just buying the record, so I was always a fan. But what was important about the record to me was Dynasty comes out before, right?
No, not before. You talking about Blueprint?
No. It comes out before Blueprint, right?
Right.
I remember hearing Dynasty, and that's when I heard, like, oh, something's happening. Like, I don't know what's happening, but I see there's something changing with this nigga beat. Mm-hmm. And I want to say around this time, I kind of got hip to Kanye West. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm listening. I'm like, and so the word was, okay, Jay-Z's got another album coming. And I'm like, okay, whatever that album is, if he does whatever he's attempting to do here, it's going to be crazy.
Right.
So I remember the towers fell. I was let out of school early, too. I had a whip. I hopped in the whip. I went and got me some Popeye's chicken. Went to this place called Serious Sounds, and I bought Blueprint. And I popped that bitch in, and my life changed from there. Like, that whole record from, like, and I remember telling my nigga, we got into it over there. I heard the record top to bottom. I said, Jay-Z is dope, dog. He was like, even over Pop? I'm like, nigga, over Pop. This nigga, Jay, this right here for me is all I needed to know about Jay. And it was just like, oh, shit, like.
Do y'all remember the Dynasty not really And when I first heard of it, to me, it felt like it was going to be more of a collaboration. It ended up being a Jay-Z album, but it was, when I first thought of it, it was going to be like a Rockefeller.
It was
like if Ghost Riders had their kind of thing. Yeah, it was going to be like that. Yeah. And then it ended up being a Jay-Z album.
It is. But I knew those beats like that. I knew, I was like, if this is what he's going to do.
So Juice, like, listen. So you know how you time, but like, this Can't Be Life, the joint with Scarface and Bing.
Yeah.
And the chop. So all right. So I listened to a book. I forget. I think it might have been a Malcolm Gladwell book. He did Outliers and some things like that. I listened to it on Audible. And one of the things he talked about, he referenced Hey Ya, the Outkast song. But basically, the whole point what he was making was about music, right? Vibes, energy, you know, how we get down. But music, and how popular music seems to always have some kind of resemblance of something that was popular or hip or you know, throughout centuries. We're talking, not just. So the fact that hip hop can thrive in an era of sample becomes not a coincidence, right? So then, for me, like the original sounds where I didn't fully grasp Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I appreciate it greatly because I remember great childhood memories associated with those melodies, right? So to then be able to pull that out and repackage it, reintroduce it, and this young hot producer understands that same vibe energy called Kanye West. Then you got Jay-Z that understands the synergy, you know, and that too. You hear it on his Can't Be Life. All he did, he admitted to you that he ripped the drum from Explosive, right, through the sampling there in a joint, and then carried that over to the Blueprint. And it gives you that same energy and feel. That's why, you know, that's why we love it. That's why we love it so much. But man, that, you know, that's some real shit there.
I mean, to me, that honestly, that Blueprint was his coming out party again. Because like I said, and I've said before in this podcast, that Volume 3 to me was a little shaky. That Dynasty had some drinks on it, but it was like when you do Reasonable Doubt Volume 1, Volume 2, honestly, it's hard to and I talked about Nas last week, right? And I even had to think about when Iceberg said I Am, and it was albums that I'd be like, damn, you know what? I did say Nas was overrated, but damn, Nas did have some joints, even on the joints that I didn't even, you know, sometimes things make you reflect. You get what I'm saying? But when you do Reasonable Doubt Volume 1, Volume 2, and then you do Volume 3 might be a great album for any other artist. But when you do what when you've laid that, it's like being a running back and you run for 2,000 yards. Yeah. You run for 2,000 yards in the NFL, and then you run for 1,500, it'd be like, anybody else 1,500 is an accomplishment, but you just ran for 2 stacks. Like, you can't give me 1,500 after that. So it was kind of like that. I don't know, is Jay really? And then it was around that time when still DMX was still a monster in the game. But when he bought that Blueprint, it was like he ran for 2,000 yards again. It was like it was like running for 2,000 yards, and then you run for 2,500 all-purpose yards, where you just a running back catching pass up the backfield. Like, it was a whole other element of shit. You know what I'm saying? And even when you look at Jay catalog and those kind of artists, even Nas, it's like when you come out with a Black album, or let's say an album that what's the album that everybody say is hot, and I'd be like let's say Magna Carta.
Damn. You're talking about Hov. My bad.
To it might be 5 joints on that I bang with, but you have fucking Volume 1, Volume 2 blueprints. Like,
his bar, he is
it's
on
not
bar.
fair to him to a certain extent.
You ain't like Magna Carta though?
No.
I did.
What? Fuck with me, you know I got it.
That's my shit, though.
You know I got it. Hey.
Somewhere in America, Miley Cyrus is out twerking. You gotta listen to the bar.
My nigga not only does Blueprint, though. My nigga comes with the MTV Unplugged with the Roots Crew.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah, Juice.
That nigga just don't do that. He comes with that, too.
With Jaguar Wright.
Hold up. When you put that up, it's something that has to be addressed in hip-hop that hasn't been addressed. Fairly? What? When he did the Unplugged MTV, what's her name? What's the chick name?
I just said her name, dog. We all said her name.
Huh?
We all said her name.
Jaguar right.
Coming
But
through
every
with the
song
Jaguar right,
everything
bumping
after
Jaguar right. Ooh, you ain't know I still knew it.
Don't bring the flesh part. Who you know besides Flush cop the Jaguar white
With the Jaguar right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
You should remember them bars. Stop playing, Juice.
Hey, I'm like, you're a boss guy.
She killed Song Cry so crazy that everything after that, Jay-Z did Song Cry. Mary J felt like she had. Mary J, I'm sorry.
Right.
I love you. You never touched
Nah.
Jaguar right club version of
Nah.
Song Cry.
Yeah.
She been tried.
Nobody, hold on. We was the first ones right here. Brothers Talking Shit, episode 36. However many minutes we in, close to 2 hours. We addressed it. So Jaguar right. The chick who did Song Cry ain't touch it right. Jaguar right killed it. And Mary J on every other shit, she tried to do it. And I'm sorry, Mary, we love you.
It might also be fair to say, I'm a Roots fan, by the way. I love the Roots.
Yeah.
I love the Roots.
As you
also,
should.
shout out to
Yeah.
my man, Truck North, who is a friend of mine, part of the Roots crew.
Yeah.
I will say, I think that after that Unplugged shit, that elevated the Roots, too.
Yeah.
I think it took them a little higher because, like, to see Questlove, to see them guys like doing their thing, like the way they did it, it was like, oh man, like. So Jay's really just important for hip hop, dude. Like he did a lot.
Hold on. Before we go on, I was fucking with the Roots until I went to the Roots picnic last year, and I didn't get to see Dave Chappelle. First of all, I went to the Roots picnic to see Dave Chappelle, and then Fabulous and Jada Kiss was supposed to go on at a certain time. So when we got there, Jada Kiss and Fabulous went on a time before they were supposed to go on, and then the rain fucked up me seeing Dave Chappelle. So I love the Roots, but fuck the Roots picnic. I'm sorry. Ooh, Mike, I know you want to go. It's fucking bad. Anybody I know who goes gotta step in a ring with me on this. Listen, we had a good time because of the fact that we was all family and we had a good time. But I didn't get to see Dave, and I felt the way.
I ain't gonna lie. I think on this one, dog. I think I want to try to pull the friend connect thing and definitely get away into the Roots picnic. I definitely want to be. I want to go. I do want to go. So
we about to be outvoted, dog. We going to the Roots picnic on your birthday.
Yeah, we had a good time, but when Dave ain't get to go on, 2 Chainz, we ain't see 2 Chainz, we ain't see Dave.
He came out there like 2 Chainz. They cut the mic off, and that was
only thing that was good about the Roots picnic was the fact that I was with my folks, and T.I. came out and killed it.
The chicken sandwiches.
But T.I. came out and killed it, though.
And we met Gilly.
Oh, I've been met Gilly.
Shout out to Gilly.
I said we met Gilly. See, not context clue. I said we.
Hey, I wanna visit Philly, man. Like I really wanna visit. I wanna visit.
Buy a ticket. June 1st is Flush Weekend.
Every year.
Wow.
Every year.
June 1st?
Dave,
June
you
1st.
ain't know? Every fucking year.
June. Okay, hold on. Let me do some shit.
Come on.
Dog. Okay, hold on.
He's already going to be here. Rel's already going to be here. I'm trying to get Cool Mike here with his cool ass.
I'm coming, dog. I'm coming.
My wife's birthday is June 2nd.
Second, yeah.
Oh shit, that's my birthday.
Nigga, you better not come.
You know, so I don't. So it's something I got to DJ like now. Like
You gotta pass.
Put that on the. No, I mean I'm not saying no, but you know.
He got to cue it up for the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart is 95%, but my reality is I got to figure it out. You know what I mean?
One of my close friends about the Higgity wife, his birthday. I mean, his wife got the same birthday. This is one of my childhood friends. He can't ever make none of my shit because his wife is mine.
Hey, so you a Gemini? What?
Oh, definitely all day.
Okay.
Who's not to be fucked with? That's me.
Yeah.
Who's to be fucked with? That's them. All right, I got a couple other things I want to get to. I know we about 2 hours in.
Yeah, we got.
J Electronica.
And I got ribs in the smoker.
Right, we got.
J Electronica. I didn't fuck the grill. J Electronica hints at a project with Jay-Z. Had J Electronica really ran its course? Nobody cares.
No one cares. No one cares.
I don't think Jay cares.
I don't even think.
Real shit. Like, I don't think Jay was like, huh?
Let me say it like this. We don't believe you. You need more people. J Electronica.
Exactly.
Yeah, for real. No, we not rolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does he do again?
J Electronica.
Erykah
He used to
Badu,
rap. I don't know what he do now.
What did Erykah Badu baby father?
I know that. Like, I'm really just trying to see, like, you know, I
That's
need a Wikipedia what the fuck he really did to be who he is.
That's
He
it.
pops up.
Exhibit C.
He pops up every couple years and lays a
why?
verse in.
Why?
He went on tour last year.
For what?
Right.
He did Exhibit C for 3 hours.
Shout out
How
to
you
my
think
man
he did
Alvin. I said,
He
Alvin,
was
how the
popping
hell
off
you
a
go to
Rothschild, too.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That you hear what you said?
What?
What did he say?
He was popping off a Rothschild, too.
Who?
A chick, a Rothschild family.
Facts. That's what he
Heard of
did.
that? I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, they
You don't know
like
about the
run
Rothschild?
Oh, where?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Well,
run the world.
let's put that on the podcast for next.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Cause that's heavy. No matter if I take that offline.
Yeah, they might take it out. They might be like, fuck y'all podcast. It ain't going on.
Oh, they might shut our shit down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's whack to me. But go ahead.
Let me ask you about Will Smith 5 minutes of stand-up comedy. Would you watch?
Yes.
Yes.
Why? Just to see him flop? Are y'all tired of Will Smith on the internet?
No.
No.
I'm entertained too.
Yeah, no.
No. I heard something the other day. Jazzy Jeff, I forget where he was. Was he's on
Drink Champs?
Drink
I
change.
ain't seen that shit yet.
In the clip he said, what's the most popular song in rap hip hop song in the world?
Summertime.
Motherfucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme. Literally got the most, streams or whatever. They say in any hip hop song, and they was like, Jazzy Jeff, like, I didn't even know that. So somebody was like, oh, you still getting them royalties or something like that, like joking them.
Yeah.
But like, that's crazy. And Jazzy said how he produced the music on Fresh Prince.
And it was last minute too. Like it was like right
That's
before.
crazy, right?
Did y'all see the young boy who coming out with like a movie of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
It was they just did the trailer, but and now it's getting so much buzz that they got to do the movie.
I thought the movie was done.
No, the movie
No.
it was just a trailer. They was just doing the trailer.
Like, I liken it to back when I was in school at Howard, the communications department, they used to do that. It'd be like their test.
Yeah,
You had to make a commercial.
reverse
make
marketing.
Right.
Yeah. So it looked like somebody just he literally just made a fan trailer type jump, but that jump was so fire, so visceral.
I thought it was a
Music
movie.
and all that. They could
That's
make
the
it a movie.
purpose.
Get that man a budget. Somebody in black.
That is the purpose. They are shopping that shit right now as
Netflix.
we speak.
Make it however you.
However you
It
do
might
it.
go to the screen.
Either way, the money is good. You know what I'm saying? Either way.
All right, let me ask you a couple more questions.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, hey, we also need to give Will his credit too. Like, the nigga really was a dope MC, bro.
Yep.
He still is.
Yep.
I mean, he still is, but
yeah,
like, I don't think he really gets the credit from back in the day, like, of really being a dope.
He really do shit his way, man.
Yeah,
Like,
and Will
really
got one of the
does-
hardest bars ever when he said, "My last check from Wild Wild West came in on the flatbed." I said, "Oh shit!"
Damn.
Right, like if that ain't stunting at its finest.
No. Yeah, Will Smith is definitely was saying Summertime is an all-time classic, just in general, and that kind of transcends,
But I told y'all,
But
he ain't
write
write
it.
that.
He ain't write it.
it don't even matter.
Yeah,
It
you're right.
don't matter.
Put it out there. Rakim wrote that. If you
It don't
listen to it, play the words back in your head, you'll see Rakim wrote
That
that.
ain't no problem.
Ain't
It's still one of the greatest songs ever time. Yeah.
Ain't nobody top 5, Will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
he's not top 5.
Bars, but like it's a mad respect because one thing you said, Neek, was he did it his way. It's just like Drake in my eyes. I had to check myself. I can't be mad at Drake for doing it a certain way because I'm tired of everybody saying they sold a kilo of dope before they got in the car. So I mean, in the game, so I'm fine with saying Will Smith he caught unnecessary flack almost because he wasn't edgy or he seemed a little more poppy, but it wasn't because I'm more Will Smith than I am probably any drug dealing rapper in the game.
Keep it a bean. He's the first guy to keep it a bean.
Yeah, exactly. So that's respect on that level.
Before we get off, we definitely got to address our top 5. And the top 5 that was sent out was the top 5 rap moguls. And I'll go first. I got Jay-Z number 1. I got Diddy number 2. I got Drake number 3.
Who?
Drake. I got Dre number 4, and I have Nas number 5. The reason why I have Drake number 3,
Mogul?
that nigga doing NBA deals. That nigga got a OVO, a Toronto Raptors OVO building. Go ahead, come on, get with me.
I got a beef with the Drake on the list. Just cause that's not. I think Mogul for me, and you talk about like Mogul status for me in hip hop would then be the branch of it, right? So we be in the culture. So not only the music aspect, but like what is the business aspect, right?
Yeah.
So no way Drake makes the list over Master P.
Oh.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or
Just
Jay
like,
Prince.
Or Jay Prince.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying, when you look at the moves, that NBA movie made was crazy.
But it's still to me a check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like P.
So it's more of them using his name, you think?
So he's figuring it out. And I forget where it was, but in one of the bars he talked about Apple, talking about ownership. He's on the right path for understanding, but he's also young with it. You know what I mean? Drake. So when you was sign through, ain't nobody disrespecting that. Like we know, I told you one of the hardest parts. I think he said I'm a Jay Prince investment. I love that the way he puts it, right? So we can be each other's investment. So just getting a bag from a bigger corporation, I don't think makes him a bigger mogul, no matter how big that bag is. You talking about some shit in 30 years when your music can be used in a movie. If you getting paid, then that's mogul status to me. You know what I'm saying?
So do we all agree that Jay-Z is the number 1?
Yes.
I think
what we didn't address was the fact that the young boy who got kicked out of school for and Jay jumped in after the
for not standing up during the national anthem or something like that.
Yeah,
might have been.
He didn't want to stand for the
Pledge of
Allegiance
or something.
and they called the police on him. He was in middle school, I think. Called the police on him and charging him with a felony. Tried to charge him with a felony, like disruption of the
Y'all talk. I gotta pee real quick. I'm due for that pee. Y'all know how I go.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Jay-Z for sure. Drake being on there, I don't think it's.
I'm not rolling.
Now wait a minute. Now I think the case is pending because what he did for Toronto, I think is huge. I don't think that's on the radar yet, but he definitely changed an entire scene out there.
Yeah.
So you have to give him credit for that.
It's like the top 50 in the NBA list. When they made the list, it was right. But when LeBron James you can't be like, he's in the top 50 of best players. So it's going to be an all evolving list. If we put money and say will Drake ultimately in a way that makes him next list, hell yeah, he on the right track and he understands the same way LeBron understands that early business moves matter. But when you talk about Jay-Z owning a streaming service, like that's some just different shit. That's mogul business. When you talk about 50 Cent selling companies to Coca-Cola, that's business. You know what I mean? Nas, I think, makes the list, or maybe on some venture capitalist shit. Like the list can be even expanded. These dudes is getting it out here now. You know what I mean? And that's good to see. So once we talk about you just being licensed to use my likeness, and I know you still own when I know you own them masters, I think Drake gonna go right up on that list because he that guy that's going he could be the end all when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So does mogul status just stick to music, or is it just all around?
All around to me. All around.
Because Nas done made some money on the humbug too that you can't even deny.
That's what we were saying, like early investments in what, like Uber and some other ones and stuff like that. His venture capitalist arm had, I think it's called Queensbridge Ventures or something like that, where they're angel investors in early tech companies. And then so some of the early investments hit big, right? And I forget what they were, but it created this portfolio. Chameleonaire is another former rapper that's heavy into tech. Jay-Z has since created a venture capitalist firm. It must have been last year or something. You see the success of these people. Kevin Durant in the NBA is doing it. These dudes understand. So when you get in the bag, these dudes are now creating billion-dollar situations and companies behind athletes and entertainment, man. Heavy. heaven. We could wake up, get this coal out of our eyes, talk our own shit, take our cool and go home. It could be over with. That's what they, you know. If they, you know.
Speaking of LeBron, though, that nigga Poochus on the court, dog. He ain't the best player in the world no more. I'm sorry.
What?
LeBron ain't the best player in the world no more.
What?
LeBron ain't the best. You got a little white man blocking your shot. That nigga washed, dog. I'm ready to see LeBron.
Best player in the world and Wash is just extreme. I was with you on best player in the world, maybe, but Wash ain't right.
Listen,
Who better?
best player in the
Who
world,
better than LeBron?
Huh?
Who better?
KD.
Huh? All right, y'all. This has been episode 36, Brothers Talking Shit podcast.
I gotta cook to my wife for real. We gotta wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right, Silent.
Not like that, but like that.
Yeah.
He's still washed though. Fuck him in that headline. All right, this is Brothers Talking Shit. I gotta go spark the grill anyway. I got shit to do.
I'm cooking, man. We got shit to do, man.
I love y'all, but we all get silent.
Yeah, it's Brothers Talking Shit. Yo, we real fathers, we real husbands, and we gotta go, man.
All right, we out. Brothers Talking Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
See ya.